Okay, time to do a video on silver. Silver just could be the buy of the century. Those who don't know about silver, silver is extremely undervalued. I'm going to try and explain that. I'll try and be as clear as I can and make it as easy as I can. I mean, some of the numbers and stuff make it a little difficult, but I'll try and keep it as simple as I can here. I'd like to start out by saying that gold has demonstrated maintaining its value over time. We can look back into the Roman times when gold could, 1 ounce gold coin could buy a man a toga, a belt, and a pair of sandals. And then we jump forward to 1920 when a 1 ounce gold coin was worth $20, and that same 1 ounce coin would buy a nice suit, nice shoes, and a nice belt for a man in 1920. We move forward to 2009, and you can still buy a really nice suit, some nice Italian shoes if you want, and a belt. And you can see that over time gold has maintained its value. Now silver is a whole different story. It's extremely undervalued. I'm going to try and explain to you why, but silver looks to me like it's the best investment of the 21st century. We have, let's see here, this silver quarter is worth about $3.20. This has about the same amount of silver, a little bit more, than a denarii, which were the silver coins used by the Romans. Now, a denarii would pay a man for 1 day's worth of work. So, if we say $200 is the average working man's wage nowadays, $3 and $200, it's about 66 times the value of an ounce of silver would have to rise to keep silver maintaining its value over time like gold. So if it was to go up 66 times, it's $17.75 an ounce of silver today. So that would bring the price up to about $1,170. That's just one case for silver. Supply and demand is a whole other story. There's been about 44.5 billion ounces of silver mined over time, as opposed to 4.5 billion ounces of gold. So you have 4.5 billion gold and 44.5 billion silver. It's about 10 times the amount of silver has been taken out of the ground, which is close to the ratio of 12 to 1, which is the historical value. Over thousands of years, it's averaged 12 to 1. I've heard 15 to 1. I've heard 17 to 1. So we can round that off, say 14, 15 to 1 has been historical. So for 3,000-4,000 years. But the last 150 years, it's gotten skewed to where it's 60 to 70 times the value of silver. Gold is 60 to 70 times more valuable. And I can't find any reason for that. All the research that I've done has shown that silver should be close to 1-to-1 value with gold by now. I mean, you have, out of that 44 billion ounces, it's been consumed, and we're down to 500 million. So we have like 1/8 of the amount of silver above ground available for investors than we do with gold. And it's been consumed over time in industry. It's used in all electronics. The camera I'm using right now has silver. The cell phones, computer, everything has silver in it. Everything, mirrors use silver. Silver has a lot of applications. It's the best electricity conductor that there is on the planet. So it doesn't make sense having less silver now, where we still have gold at like 60 times the value of silver. Now, another thing we can look at is 1980. 1980 was the last time we had a high in gold and silver. Adjusted for inflation, gold went to $870 something. an ounce in 1980, and adjusted for inflation, that would be about $2,400. Silver went up to $50 an ounce, and adjusted for inflation, that would be about $140. So I think that what's happening now is easily just as bad as what went on in the 80s with the inflation. The inflation is going to be much worse this time. So if you look at where gold is now, it's almost $200 above its peak in 1980. But silver's $17. It got up to $50. So it hasn't even gotten to where it did in 1980, but gold's past it. But yet there's less silver. I think the main reason for this is the short position by the banks. There's a few major banks that have huge short positions, like 69,000 contracts. And they're only supposed to have 6,000 contracts each. I think one bank has 26,000 contracts. And this is supposedly being looked at. I see stuff, there's one silver analyst that has been trying to check on seeing if this can be enforced, because it's not being enforced. And so that 69,000 contracts is about 300 million ounces of silver. Now you have a short position like that against only 500 million ounces available, of course it's going to hold the price down. Those banks have sold 300 million ounces of silver that they don't own. So they've just been selling all that silver, which holds the price down. Silver right now should at least be $60, $70 an ounce. So looking at those different things, you be the judge. Silver could very easily be the buy of the century. I don't see any reason we can't see at least $200-300 silver. So at $17, you can make, what's that, 10, 20 times your investment over the next 3-4 years. I mean, if we look at the day's wage, for this to be worth $200, like this coin right here would pay a man in Roman times, you would have to go all the way to about $1,170 an ounce. So there it is. That's my case for silver. Like I said, I'll let you be the judge. Have a good night.